Hey everybody, it's Mama OG. I'm back with another reaction. Tonight, I finally am getting back around to the live version of Awaken, originally by Yes, but I understand this is just John Anderson and Todmobile. This was 2013. I hope I have the right video. I think there's another one, but I'm just kind of going by instinct here. John Anderson and Todmobile performing Awaken live at the Harpa Concert Hall in Reykjavik, Iceland, November 15th, 2013. This version of Awaken with Todmobile lifted my heart and soul so much I wanted everyone to enjoy it. The wonderful musicians and singers of the band, plus the choir and orchestra there in Iceland 2 years ago, really sounded amazing to me. The proof is in this video. What a wonderful experience it was for all of us to honor the music of Yes. Love and light, John Anderson. Okay. So I know a few of you have been waiting for this one. This one is actually a donation request from two different people. One of them is David. David, as always, thank you so much. And the other one is just from, I got a donation with the name Someone. So I'm sure that someone knows who they are. I don't. But I wanted to mention it anyway. So let's not wait any longer. Let's take a listen. Oh my.
Kæru vinir, herra Jón Andersson og svo fjess.
Jón. Oh my God.
Stand still, reaching out to touch on me, past the mortal as me. Here we can be.
That smells so good.
Awaken to the best.
sound is very similar. The tone of that guitar. Going to pause it really quickly. In the original studio version, I noted this situation where it started on a certain note, it went up, and then it started like a half key higher and did the same thing, and so on. And I'm hearing that again, and I've learned since then that that's called the circle of fifths in music, and it's just standing out a little bit more to me. Like there's a bunch of it going on, I think. Let's back it up just a little bit and keep going. Sounds quite full with the orchestra. And the quality of this live performance sound is just amazing.
His promise for his sin is reaching so clearly. Hurricanes and man, driven far from the path, be released in an initial sword. All is left for you, all is left for you, all is left for you, all is left for you.
Getting goosebumps. Listen to the violins. He sounds amazing too.
should go on.
It's almost making me feel like I want to cry.
My heart dreaming past the mortal as me. Where can I be? Wish the sun to stand still, reaching out to touch our own being. Past all mortal as we, here we can be. Like the time I ran away, turned around, you were standing close to me. Like the time I ran away, turned around, you were standing close to me. Sing the Todmobile in the orchestra. Come on.
Oh, crap.
Thank you. I must say something. I am so happy to be with this wonderful band and, of course, these wonderful orchestra and a choir. So I think it's wonderful to be with you tonight. We're going to do some Yes songs, okay?
Oh, crap. So that line where he says, like the time I ran away, I turned around and you were standing next to me. That's an amazing lyric. And it just kind of reminded me, as some of you may know, and some of you may not, I lost my father in March of 2024. And when I was in my junior year of high school, I ran away from home for 2 weeks. In order to get me home, my mother and father were separated, separate states. I lived with my dad at the time in California. And my mother was in Minnesota. And at the time, you know, about a week and a half in, I called home just to let them know that I was okay. Talked to my sister. And she told me that my mother was sick and that I needed to come home. Something about, I can't remember, it was something like a brain tumor, something drastic. It took me a few days to arrange a ride because I was about 2 hours away from where I lived. I just remember when I walked through the door at my dad's house where I lived, he picked me up off the ground and squeezed me like nobody's ever squeezed me before. And it's something it's a moment I'll never forget. And he just kind of whispered in my ear, don't you ever fucking do that to me again. It turns out they had just told me that to get me to come home, and it worked. My mother's still with us today, thank God, but she was fine. It's just a tactic they used to get me home. But anyway, that line just kind of took me back to that hug. I wasn't in trouble after that. He was just thankful that I was okay and that I was alive. You know, I spent the last 16 years taking care of my dad and living with him before he passed away. And I don't know. It without going into a long story, it it just took me back to that. A hug from anyone that I will never forget was that from my dad. And that lyric just kind of popped that memory back in my head. The music itself was making me choke up a little bit here and there. The choir, I think, is what does it. And they're not singing any words, they're just singing notes. But the whole of that performance, everyone together just made it so much richer than I remember the studio being. And the studio version was amazing. I'm one that prefers, like back in the day, I heard things on albums. The way we heard it on the radio was from the albums. So I've always kind of been, my preference was studio versions of everything. But, you know, that's kind of starting to change. You know, technology's changed quite a bit. Live stuff back in the day, back when I was a teenager and such, is nothing like it was or like it is now. And that production on that live performance was incredible. I heard everything. I was watching John and his facial expressions, and there were certain parts of that where it almost made me cry just watching his expressions on his face. You could just see, and he's probably performed that song 1,000 times, and you could just, it seems like it was the very beginning of when maybe they first started performing it. You could tell that he loves to sing that song, and it's amazing that his voice sounds perfect live. I don't think I've ever heard them perform live at all. So that was incredible. That kind of gave it some meat with the orchestra and the choir, which I really appreciate. And I also have to say, give kudos to the keyboard player. He was amazing as well. I mean, I could go through and point out there was a time where the violinists were doing their thing. And I don't know, there's just so much to talk about in that, and I'm sure I'm going to need to watch that several more times to catch everything. The one question that I have for all of you is Todmobile, the band that was playing with him, it was just the band, like the keyboard and the guitar and the drummer. I know there was 2 drummers. Or does it include that orchestra and choir as well? And are they from Iceland? I guess I should have read up on them a little bit. But David and someone, thank you so much for requesting this one. I'm sorry it took me so long to get to it. Thank you all so much for being here to watch. That was incredible. I will see you next time.